Salutations everyone, I'm Niru and welcome back to more Niru Rants. There was phlegm in my throat, oh god. So, anyway, remember when I talked about the Alienware's UFO gaming and handheld gaming PC and how it will never beat the Switch? I think something else could beat the Switch, and it comes in 3 different models, and the lower price one seems reasonably, spendable. Valve have just released, just announced a handheld PC console called the Steam Deck. Now, the UFO is clearly trying to look like a Switch and trying to be a better Switch, but also being a handheld PC at the same time. Steam Deck is doing the same thing, but honestly, it doesn't act like a Switch. It doesn't have Joy-Cons that get detached or anything. Instead, it just looks like a Sega Game Gear. and that's no insult to it, but it kind of does. But instead of, Sega Game Gear just draining batteries like instantly, it seems that the power and battery life in this one seems to be quite better than, say that. I had doubts about it. It was just another attempt of saying, like, hey, we can be Switch also. We can make a handheld PC for people to easily bring with them and not lug around a big ass gaming laptop all the time, or people having to build their own PC. And the Steam Deck seems to be offering a lot to let you play your Steam games, but also you can transfer data and such on your Steam Deck and also connect it to an actual desktop without having like an actual, hard drive to come with it. So basically, it's like a big, condensed version of a PC. It's just smaller. But even though it's smaller, that doesn't mean it doesn't have enough space. I mean, there's tons of space for it, honestly. There's like 3 different models that come with 64 gigs or 200 something gigs. Hell, even more than that. But, the prices start to stack up higher the more gigs it has. But I think it'd be reasonably priced for people who want to buy a 64 gig one, since you can actually insert your own SD card in there that has to, so you can put more space in it and more games in it if you wanted. So that's a plus if you don't want to, like, get a bigger, expensive one that has more gig space if you want, which is honestly not that bad of an idea or good deal out of it. So basically, they're trying to say it is a PC through and through. It's not just a gaming console that will only be secluded to playing certain games. It doesn't have to be restricted to any game that you're stuck playing with. You can play any game you want. Well, clearly not in Nintendo games, but anything you want. And you can also still download stuff, put stuff in there. So I'm guessing mods are not out of the table for this console. So maybe we can still mod games in this Steam Deck that we got lying around here. The question is this the future of PC gaming? Or, hell, gaming in general? When you talk about people who were dreaming and dying to play their console games on the go, you would think that's impossible. A huge game like that for a tiny little system like this? Well, that's impossible. Can it actually have the graphics we want? Can it actually not degrade in quality like the Nintendo Switch has to do when they have to make AAA games seem more compatible? Hello, this is me. I am Russian Niru from the future. In the future, everyone will sound Russian, and sometimes British also, if you want to. Oh. 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 But anyway, or I here came to tell you that there was something that has interested me about gaming, how far portable gaming has come throughout the years. And I think the PS Vita is a prime example of, man, look how far we've came. Because I recently bought a game on sale on the Switch store for my Switch, and it's Resident Evil Revelations 2. I've played the first Resident Evil Revelations on my 3DS. Well, to be more clear, I played a demo version of that game. But compared to that, the first Revelations game played on a 3DS, the graphics were pretty damn good. And honestly, they looked like high quality that could clearly be put on an actual console. I mean, sure, it's kind of like pixely and everything, but honestly, it's still good graphics enough to say, yeah, that looks pretty cool. Well, but for Revelations 2, that never came out on the 3DS, but it came out on the PS Vita, and the graphics are fucking trash. That shows how it's weird how Sony couldn't do what Nintendo could when porting Resident Evil on a 3DS. Like, seriously, for a 3DS, that's impressive how they got that whole game in there and made it look that good. While Revelations 2 on Vita just looks so janky and compressed with audio issues and everything. A common problem I seen when I played Lego Indiana Jones 2 on the PSP, but then again, that was a DS uh port of it, so that sucks. Anyway, that's me near in the future saying that, wow, the Switch did better than a PS Vita. So, we've come so far in portable gaming with such like Mortal Kombat 11 or the Doom games, basically. Well, I don't think this will degrade in quality for all games like the Steam Deck would not, or hell, Aliens UFO for that matter as well. But with the UFO, no one's gonna go and buy that for an expensive high price that they are shelving. But Valve is putting up a 399 one that's 64 gigabytes. So technically, I don't know. I think people could actually have fun with that and then buy a big SD card that has a lot of gig space, and they could still continue playing their games. And hell, no one's going to be bothered with, I guess I'll delete some games for space, because come on, we've been doing that a lot with consoles or in PCs for the rest of our lives. So of course we're going to be downloading, deleting, and then reinstalling again when we feel like it. So it's not going to be a hassle or a big deal for us if we get something with a smaller gig space because the price is reasonable on like 500 or 400. But 300, that's still steep, kind of, but reasonable, because again, it is a PC in a console range. So yeah, you're willing to shove up that money, then yeah, that's reasonable. Honestly, it's more reasonable than buying a fucking iPhone that's more expensive than that. It makes me question and wonder if this is what console gaming and PC gaming is going to be in the future. Are we going to stop building our own PCs and actually start having our own handheld PCs that we can take on the go with us without having to be struggling with a big ass laptop that we have to lug around and then find a place to lay it down, and hopefully it doesn't overheat on whatever surface you put it under. And whenever, well, this seems to be the bigger option and better option for that matter. Yeah. And it seems to be exclusive for gaming, so I have no idea. Since it is a PC, then that means it probably has the usual perks of a PC, an internet browser, and storage place. Maybe it has a media player that you can watch stuff on with what files you have on you. It could probably do what a PC can. It's just more uh more convenient to carry and not have to like set up a lot to go and lug around a lot when you're on a plane or when you're traveling or whatever. For as much as like, gamers don't travel that much anymore, because to be fair, handheld consoles are very prone more to kids in a way than adults. And again, for me, I do travel a lot sometimes, so there would be days that I would be out of town. I would be somewhere else. So the Steam Deck could be useful for me if I ever do get one. But, I have my Switch, and my Switch hasn't fucked up recently. I mean, I had some problems with the Joy-Con, but I think that's because I went to a GameStop and it might have synced up with a bunch of other Joy-Cons in the process. But would I call the Steam Deck the Switch killer? Well, we'll find out soon enough. It's coming out in the holidays, the best time to sell your PC, your handheld PC, is in the holidays, Christmas. Yes, go and steal your parents' money or fucking annoy the shit out of them to give you this Steam Deck. uh, I'm not sure if this is like a big converter for people who do have big PCs they build themselves, or bought, that are more higher powered and have, hell, the more than just the biggest amount of gig space ever, hell, probably terabytes more than whatever Valve is shelving with this thing, because everyone loves 2 or 3 terabytes than just 100 gigs of space. But then again, if you're just using that for gaming and everything, I don't think you'll worry that much. But then again, 64 gigs. There are games that are bigger than that. That could really fucking do a number on the space that you'd be only be playing one game on there, probably. Who knows? Who knows? I won't say it's a big replacement on the bigger PCs. I don't think the handheld is gonna catch on with everyone. And I think maybe it's the gig space that might turn people off or anything. But then again, it doesn't destroy anything about a PC that makes it a PC. You can still connect it to a desktop. You can still play games the way you prefer it on a keyboard and a mouse. Like, you don't need to like convert yourself to putting yourself on a controller. You can still use a keyboard if you want to, if that's the way your speed is. But then again, if you just want to play it on a keyboard and a mouse like you usually do and not on a controller, then you're just better off with your PC that you have on you right now, instead of a one that's made as a little console that looks like a Nintendo Switch but isn't, and just do that. I mean, to be fair, everyone at this point in time in this generation has been lugging laptops a lot in carrier bags when they go travel out, when they go out of town, when they fly on planes. Everyone's been lugging their big ass gaming laptops for almost years, fucking a decade now, at least. Or hell, more than that, probably. So I don't think they're gonna change how they play games. Unless, if they still have a PC and they want to like at least play their games, they can still do that if they are gonna travel out somewhere and they want to experience their console games, they probably will have that with them. And no need to have a gaming PC. If you don't have a gaming PC, maybe, well, gaming laptop, then this could be your first one. Just a portable PC. And you can still keep your original OG PC right there if you want. And it could, because since it could take cloud data, or they're testing out to making a cloud data for it, so you can transfer all your files, your save files and everything, and all your gaming data of all your games on Steam that you have on there, and you can play it there while you're on the go. So you're sold on that, then that's cool. For me, am I a PC gamer? I am willing to convert if I could afford a PC, if I could afford a gaming laptop in that stature, if I had the money, but I do not. I am gonna stick with my Nintendo Switch, and whatever games that come out on it, I will get, or get on my PS4 until Sony takes a plunge and nicks the PS4 out of existence by cutting its internet completely, which will sadly come to a close some way or somehow. Now, it would be interesting to wonder, like, if this would be the future of gaming. Like, could you imagine if Sony came out with their own portable console that plays all your favorite Sony exclusive games and you can take it on the go? It would be like the PS Vita, but very expensive and can actually do better graphics and not have handheld exclusive games but have console games as well that could match the graphics and quality of games the same as their consoles. Hell, if Xbox got a portable console out, which they never had to my memory, then hell, they could do a lot with that too. But then again, since Xbox is kind of PC, I don't think they need to do that, since Valve and UFO and Alienware are just doing it themselves, so technically Xbox doesn't need to do anything. I mean, come on, you can just play Halo all you want on that shit, and no one will be the wiser. But then, who knows? Would portable gaming be the biggest thing to come at all for, for console gamers like myself? I don't know. Or hell, PC gamers as well. Would they convert to the portable gaming craze that's happening? Maybe. Maybe not. Or not at all. Oh, it's like everyone's trying to get everyone's asses out of home and actually go out for once and just hang out outside the park or something, playing a game outside anyway, and not be secluded in their home. Kids need to play Fortnite outside. Actually, no, kids can still play Fortnite outside if they have a phone that can support Fortnite, so Fortnite's already doing that shit. Yeah, I don't think Steam Deck is gonna kill the Switch anytime soon. I mean, it's Nintendo. Nintendo will find ways for people to come running back to their console and say, hey, our new Nintendo Switch Pro will do more than what the OG Switch could do. You don't need that fucking uh stupid like Steam Deck or Alienware's UFO. You're gonna get our Nintendo Switch Pro, boys. Who knows? It is out of the realm of possibilities for me to think, but it is an interesting thing to see that a lot of companies who are into PC gaming are trying to match what console games are doing, but try to do better than what console games are doing now. They are trying to do something with portable gaming, and this is the new craze of what they're doing. Play portable games that you play PC games, but this time on the go. Oh, it's something I don't know. Like I already told the story already on this channel about me and how portable gaming has been like a big thing for me in my childhood with the PlayStation Portable and the Nintendo 3DS. Or hell, the Game Boy for that matter as well. They kind of shaped my childhood in a way where I get to play games on the go and have fun with them. PSP, the PlayStation Portable, just shaped uh my elementary school and middle school days when I could just play it and just like play games like Dissidia Final Fantasy or Crisis Core Final Fantasy. Basically, I played a lot of RPGs on my PSP a lot. I don't know. I just found the RPG games on PSP to be more appealing since I believe the PSP went down in quality once they stopped giving a shit about the Lego games. I mean, there was only 2 Lego games they had that looked good, and that was, Lego Star Wars 2 and Lego Indiana Jones, the original adventures. Like, those felt like games that were meant to be played on consoles, but you can take it on the go with you and play them on your, PlayStation Portable. And then once the sequel to Lego Indiana Jones came out, it PSP honestly stopped giving a shit and just said, screw it. Take the DS version of Lego Indiana Jones and just port it to the PSP. And that's all they fucking did for its final years, basically. But still, when the Dissidia Final Fantasy sequel came out, that still was in good quality and with some better graphics as well. And it was a better version of the first Dissidia game I played, honestly. Hey, I mean, the Star Wars Battlefront games were not that bad also on the PSP, like Renegade Squadron or Elite Squadron, or as I like to call Star Wars Battlefront Elite Squadron, Star Wars Battlefront 3, but on a handheld console. No joke. Star Wars Battlefront 3, it was already released. I'm not kidding. Battlefront 3 was released. It was just on a handheld console. It degraded in quality and wasn't what we imagined what Battlefront 3 would look like, but honestly in a more lower grade quality version than what we were going to get on consoles. It sucked, but it was an effort. Console gaming has come a long way, basically, in this generation, in this new decade of ours, that we are coming to grips that we can actually put console games on handheld now. And Nintendo Switch kind of, paved the way to that. And and it's honestly true. They really did. They really did pave the way, kind of, to portable gaming and trying to improve it in the best way they can for a handheld console. Like, you can fit this big ass game in this small little device. It's insane. Hell, we're putting like old PlayStation 1 games on an Apple store, for God's sakes, and you can play Tomb Raider on them. I mean, the controls suck, but it's still impressive. But anyway, what do you guys think about these portable consoles now being announced this year? The UFO and the Steam Deck, and sooner or later the Nintendo Switch Pro, which now I want to talk about the OLED model of Nintendo Switch. Because I'm not interested in the OLED model. I'm interested in that freaking Nintendo Switch dock. Seriously, it has an Ethernet port. Where the hell was that when I needed it for the OG Nintendo Switch dock? Is there a way I can just buy that Nintendo Switch dock for what, $50 or something, and take that dock and connect an Ethernet port to my Switch? Because for real, you know how hard it is to connect the Nintendo Switch downstairs on the big TV and have it play like online games without the Wi-Fi crashing? That would have been a better way to play the Switch, with an Ethernet port hooked up to the dock, and then boom, I wouldn't have crashes anymore. But sadly, we're not that lucky. Anyway, what do you guys think about these new portable PC gaming systems coming soon in holidays of December or this year? Are you excited? Are you just gonna stick with your original PC setup that you have on you currently? Are you okay with lugging a big ass PC gaming laptop with you always? Let me know. I'll see you, Wolfpack, in the next video. Ciao, darlings.
Ow, ow, ow! Ow! Ow!